Mother sells her own daughter for glory. Mary and Anna are two sisters living with their mother, Susan, in a poor house. Their lives become even more difficult after their father dies from a serious illness. Susan, a woman addicted to gambling, doesn't care about her husband and children. When Mary's father was alive, he had to work tirelessly to pay off his wife's debts. Even after his death, Susan still can't give up gambling, so now she has to face mounting debts. Mary and Anna's father was a hard-working man who always tried to earn enough money to support his family. When he passed away, unable to earn enough money, Susan sold everything in the house to satisfy her gambling addiction. Mary, a resilient girl, always strives to study and work to help her mother raise her younger sister Anna. Mary takes good care of her sister, teaches Anna academics, and instills in her the belief in a better future. Anna, 2 years younger than Mary, is bad-tempered, selfish, and never helps her family. Despite their family's difficult situation, she always dresses up to show off her fashion sense. That's why Anna is Susan's favorite and is always pampered. Mary both studies and works part-time to cover tuition and living expenses for her and Anna. Anna, however, takes this for granted and considers it Mary's duty. After some time, Susan couldn't control her debts anymore. The debt collectors became increasingly aggressive, constantly harassing the family. One day, they made a horrifying offer: if Susan couldn't repay the debt, they would take one of her daughters as payment. Susan was at a loss for what to do, but when the thugs said they would pay her extra money, she decided to sell Mary. Anna, who was already jealous of her sister Mary, conspired with her mother to harm her. Susan, blinded by money and tempted by Anna, no longer thought about the mother-daughter bond and decided to sell Mary to the debt collectors. One day, Mary's mother told her that she had been recommended by a distant relative to work for a large company with a stable job and high income. Her mother said it was a great opportunity for Mary to earn money to pay off the debt and help her family. Trusting her mother, Mary accepted the offer. On the day Mary left home, Anna pretended to be sad and affectionate toward her sister. However, inside, Anna was thrilled, knowing that her plan had succeeded. Mary, unaware of her sister's scheme, said goodbye to everyone in tears, hoping that everything would be fine after she had earned enough money to pay off the debt. However, the truth behind the job that Mary's mother had mentioned did not exist. Instead, Susan took her to a remote place where the debt collectors were waiting. In front of Mary's shock and confusion, Susan and Anna quickly left the scene. In the end, Mary was kidnapped by the debt collectors and taken to an unfamiliar place. She realized that she had been deceived by her own mother and sister. Desperate, Mary cried out her mother's and Anna's names. With tears streaming down her face, Mary didn't know what she had done wrong for her own mother and sister to treat her like this. Mary was taken by the debt collectors to a brothel on the outskirts of the city. The place was closely supervised, and she was forced to work in a sinful environment. Meanwhile, her mother and Anna continued their lives, oblivious to the terrifying captivity Mary was enduring. As a newcomer, Mary was made to work as a server and was assigned to a middle-aged woman with heavy makeup and provocative clothing as her trainer. Mary was beaten and scolded for her non-submissive attitude. She was even starved on some days for not cooperating. The girls in this place were all forced into prostitution. They had all experienced a similar training phase like Mary's and had since lost the will to fight to escape. Mary felt frightened and powerless, unable to find anyone to trust. Each day, Mary tried to resist and find ways to escape, but all her efforts were unsuccessful. In her moments of loneliness and as her endurance began to wane, she met Lisa. Lisa had also been recently captured and was extremely resistant and defiant. The two young girls looked at each other with hopeful eyes. Mary tried her best to approach Lisa, and together, they planned to break free from the brothel. Each day, they found ways to hide useful items, preparing for their escape plan. Their plan was discovered by another girl who despised them and reported them to the brothel owner. Mary and Lisa were severely beaten and separated. However, they had already discussed the possibility of this scenario and prepared for it. They pretended to be obedient and endured more humiliation for some time. As time went by, Mary and Lisa completed their escape plan. They chose a night with few guards on duty to execute their plan. They used the items they had hidden to unlock and open their cells. Overcoming the security barriers, the two ventured into the night, escaping the brothel. Together, Mary and Lisa contacted the police and reported the brothel and the evildoers. Thanks to their bravery, the police conducted an investigation and eventually dismantled the brothel. Many of those held captive were rescued, and the villains faced the consequences of their actions. After completing the procedures with the police, Mary sat on the bench, exhausted, unsure of where to go at that moment. Going home and facing the two cruel people made her feel drained just thinking about it. Susan and Anna were like two blood-sucking demons, draining Mary's courage. They were her enemies, but also her family. She couldn't bring herself to report them. Mary thought for a long time and decided to go home. Standing at the gate, she heard Susan and Anna laughing about their recent purchase of some discounted designer items. Her heart clenched, knowing that she was nothing in their eyes, not even as valuable as an inanimate object. Suddenly, the gate opened, and Anna was startled to see Mary. Her face contorted as she called Susan out. Susan was also shocked to see her eldest daughter but did not invite her in. Susan's first question was how Mary had managed to escape. Anna sneered at Mary for being fired due to poor skills. Mary lost all hope in these despicable people. She entered the house to collect her belongings, but there was nothing left. They had thrown away all her things. Mary burst into tears in utter agony. Wiping her tears and holding her head high, she stepped out of that house, vowing never to return. Mary went back to the police station she had left not long ago, accusing Susan and Anna of human trafficking into brothels. This was the consequence she wanted them to face. Susan and Anna were arrested for investigation. The police discovered that Susan was involved in a large gambling ring and that Anna possessed and used drugs. Susan and Anna had to pay for their actions. As time passed, Mary slowly regained her composure, healed her wounds, and began a new life. She reunited with Lisa, and the two established a center for women and children in need. Mary and Lisa wished for all women to live in happiness and love, even when their own families abandoned them. Meanwhile, Susan and Anna struggled in prison. Susan gradually realized her mistakes and lived in remorse, while Anna couldn't accept her imprisonment. She blamed Mary and her mother for all her resentment. Anna screamed and acted recklessly, and the doctors diagnosed her with delusions, a symptom of mental illness.